Live from Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7:30 on THV 11 Plus.
Good morning, everyone. We're so glad you're here. It's 7 o'clock on THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen. Obviously, we got meteorologist Tracy Bean. We got Ashley King, birthday girl yesterday. Hayden is off enjoying a great week, we hope. Still asleep, maybe, if Tanner will let him.
Every once in a while, he posts a picture of his beautiful lake view that he's enjoying this week.
Yeah, and it has been extra warm, though. Now maybe
good
we're
for the
seeing
lake.
some relief.
And now the temperatures are going down just a little bit, but it's still going to be nice lake weather.
Yeah,
still
hot.
So it's going to be lake weather that you can actually enjoy. So that's what it's going to be now.
Yeah, it gets too hot to where you don't want to be outside at all. But this will be a nice
Get a nice inner tube. Just
go float.
Oh, wow.
It'll be nice. Yeah, so whatever plans you have this weekend, make sure they are outside because we've got lower dew points and that lower humidity coming. It's going to be great.
There's a lot of great events that are happening this weekend too. There's the All Arkansas Beer, Wine, and Spirits Festival on Friday night, and then the Arkansas Travs are playing, and they're honoring the Little Rock Nine this weekend.
And that's a big
special
weekend.
uniforms. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
and I'm glad the weather for them, if nothing else,
gonna be
the
good.
Little Rock Nine will be good for them and the Travs too. So traffic though.
Right, yeah, we need to get a look at traffic. We've actually been dealing with a couple of accidents and some backups this morning already. We had that heavy rain that Tracy was talking about earlier on THV 11, and we need to check and see what's going on now. I think some of those accidents have been cleared, but there is one that we're watching right now, getting a closer look, just at some slowdowns right now too. This is our North Terminal interchange where it's already a little slow there, 14 miles per hour as you're coming from I-40 onto I-30. Looking at that accident here on I-30, it is on Vimy Ridge Road and the I-30 frontage road that's causing an accident. And of course, we always have some slowdowns here on I-30 eastbound as you're coming into downtown Little Rock. This is getting close to the Outlet Mall. And we're also looking at an accident from earlier that looks like it's clear now. It hasn't cleared on our live traffic map as far as this little icon goes, but as you can see, the traffic that was backed up earlier is clear. It looks like it's flowing okay. Getting a look right now, this is the Bryant exit on I-30 eastbound. We see some heavy traffic. We're starting to see a little congestion, but it is a beautiful morning, Tracy. It looks like the rain has already moved through this area. I was telling you earlier that it was coming down pretty hard as I was coming in West Little Rock.
Yeah, it was just a big old cell that was coming through, but it just made its way through, and behind it there was nothing, in front of it there was nothing. It was just that cell. So looking out across central Arkansas right now, again, a few of those clouds are left behind, but again, most of that rain has moved out. It's moving into eastern portion of the state. We'll take a look here in a second, but it is 76 degrees out there right now. We're seeing a little wind around 6 miles per hour. We're starting to see that pressure change a little bit because we've got a frontal boundary headed our way. Now in advance of this boundary, that's where we're seeing that line of showers and just scattered storms today. And that'll be the case as it continues to make its way through the state today, but back behind it with cooler air and maybe even a little drier air. That's going to make things feel so great this weekend. Just looking at our radar loop here again, in central Arkansas, we had this develop just in western Arkansas, western metro there, but it was making its way through. Looks like it might be making its way into North Little Rock now, but overall not a lot of activity. Looking like BB and Ward might see a few of those showers too as folks are heading out the door, maybe to head out to work and school, and not necessarily a lot of activity off to the west. It started to dissipate there. But stay with me. We're going to talk more about our day and let you know what to expect as we're heading into the weekend and some much cooler temperatures next week.
Developing now, debate over mail-in voting is ramping up again, with President Trump calling for an end to the process nationwide. But here in Arkansas, election officials say the needs of voters are different. THV 11's Tamer Knight joins us to show us what to know before the next election season. Good morning, Tamer.
Well, good morning, Karen. The national conversation on voting by mail may be loud, but state and local leaders say Arkansas voters shouldn't be concerned, at least not yet. On Monday, CBS News reported that President Trump is pushing to end mail-in voting nationwide, saying it leads to voter fraud. But here in Arkansas, absentee ballots are still available for voters who qualify, including those who are unavoidably absent, living in a long-term nursing facility, or have a religious reason not to vote in person. To qualify, you must meet criteria. New state law, Act 846, now requires a witness signature for certain absentee ballots. Pulaski County Circuit Clerk Terry Hollingsworth says the White House can't decide how the state handles this issue.
President doesn't dictate what the states do as it relates to absentee balloting, especially here in Arkansas. This is the law and this is what we have to deal with. And so that's why our office tries to do things as well as educate the citizens of Pulaski County.
While local officials like Hollingworth continue operating under the current rules, we know some state leaders have raised concern about mail-in voting. In a statement to THV 11, Colchester, Arkansas's top election official says, quote, "We will always put election security first, in that mail-in ballots are innately less secure than voting in person." Now, in the last primary, over 3,500 absentee ballots were cast in Pulaski County alone. State election officials say there are no plans to end absentee voting in Arkansas at this time, but change could come. For THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
All right, Tamer, thank you for that update. We appreciate it. Developing this morning, a federal judge is moving ahead with plans for a trial next year in a lawsuit challenging the firing of Saline County's former library director. Patty Hector, along with the ACLU, is taking legal action against County Judge Matt Brumley and the Quorum Court. Hector claims she was unlawfully removed from her position in 2023 after she pushed back against efforts to remove or restrict books that some officials described as obscene. Responses filed in court prompted federal judge James Moody to set a jury trial for next July. Before then, attorneys on both sides must meet for a court-ordered conference by the end of next week. And now in a THV 11 update, there is new confusion for pregnant women over the COVID vaccine. As we're heading into the respiratory season, the U.S. Health Department is now dropping its recommendation for COVID-19 vaccines during pregnancy, although most medical experts say the shots are safe, effective, and much safer than getting the virus. According to Arkansas Advocate, doctors warn expectant mothers have higher risks of severe illness, preterm labor, and stillbirth from COVID. National health groups are urging states and providers to step up vaccine outreach and counter misinformation. The CDC reports less than 15% of pregnant patients got the COVID shot last season, far below other routine vaccines like the flu and whooping cough. And now another split in vaccine guidance, this time for kids. The American Academy of Pediatrics is urging COVID-19 shots for infants and young children, which is breaking with current CDC recommendations. The group criticizes the CDC's vaccine panel, now filled with members accused of spreading misinformation. AAP recommends shots for children 6 to 23 months and a single dose for some ages 2 through 18. The FDA warns access could tighten this fall, limiting shots to older groups and possibly ending Pfizer's authorization for children under 5. 7:08. Taking a closer look, a Northwest Arkansas man has quite a story to tell. He recalls trying to help 2 American cruise passengers who drowned at Carnival's new Celebration Key Resort in the Bahamas. Police say a 79-year-old man first lost consciousness while he was snorkeling. Then hours later, a 74-year-old woman was pulled from a pool. Both were traveling with family. Lauren Spencer reports what this Tontitown man saw.
We love it. It's a time to get away. It's a lot of fun. You can relax on a cruise.
John Kopta of Tontitown was vacationing with his wife when he witnessed the unthinkable.
I think for me, I'm a dad, you know, and a grandpa, and once the adrenaline kicks in, you're not thinking anything.
Kopta says he noticed something was wrong as there was a snorkeler at the bottom of the shallow ocean not moving. He and another bystander immediately went to help, but it was too late.
I said, oh my God, my wife and I hopped off and I ran over there about the same time he got there, and we went down. He grabbed him by the arms, brought him up. I grabbed his legs, brought him up, and he was lifeless at that point.
He watched as lifeguards and emergency crews tried as hard as they could to save the 79-year-old man.
I thought you guys responded in adequate time. I mean, at one point there was 10 lifeguards surrounding, you know, making a perimeter, and the other ones were working on him. And and the EMTs came with the, with the sirens on the ATVs on the sand, and I thought they did everything they could.
2.5 hours later, a 74-year-old was found unresponsive. The initial police report says she lost consciousness while swimming in a pool at the resort. And as the reality of what happened set in, Kopta said all he could do was pray.
My wife and I both have looked at each other. Did we miss something? Did we not hear something? And I don't think there was. I don't think there was anything that he did that showed that he was drowning. I just want the family to know, our condolences, and if there's anything we need to answer for the family, we will do that.
That was Lauren Spencer reporting. Carnival is supporting the victims' families, and authorities in the Bahamas say they're waiting for autopsy results before releasing the official causes of the deaths. Students across Arkansas are back in class, some in their second week, others nearing the end of their first month. Every student and teacher knows having the right tools is important, and Verizon agrees, which is why they stopped by one of the Lisa Academy campuses to support the school's first year in its innovative learning program. The company distributing more than 1,500 internet-connected devices to middle and high school students.
Or it provides students the opportunity to engage in their homework at home, despite them having limited access to their resources. And it will also allow them to reach out to potential, we have a tool called Magic School. They can have access to that to assist them with their homework.
Teachers will also get tech support to help integrate more technology into the classroom lessons. Now let's go back to Ashley King and a check of the traffic this morning.
Hey, good morning, Karen. Yeah, we've been watching a couple of accidents. We had some heavy rain, which Tracy will talk about here in just a few minutes. But we're looking at what that's causing as far as backups on the road right now. So let's get a closer look at where this accident is on I-30. This is really off on the I-30 frontage road. It's Vimy Ridge Road crash, but it is causing some delays there in that area. Of course, east on 30 eastbound, it's always a little bit slow at this time of day, and we're moving at about 36 miles per hour in some areas. As you get closer to the outlet mall, it's picking up speed a little bit at 53 miles per hour, as you can see. Some of the other slowdowns that we also see this time of day, 16 miles per hour here at the North Terminal interchange where I-40 and I-30 connect. So that is a little bit slow. And this is another look there on I-40. This is at the North Hills Boulevard exit. And you can see that it is starting to slow down, seeing some brake lights there and some stop and go traffic. But our drive times into downtown from the metro moving a little bit slow this morning. Maybe that's because of the rain that we've seen in some wet roadways, because it seems a little earlier than usual. It's only 7:12 right now. 30 minutes if you're coming from Conway. It's going to take you 26 minutes if you're coming in from Benton to downtown Little Rock, and moving slow if you're coming from Cabot at 29 minutes. So Tracy, wet roads maybe?
Those rain showers have just moved into that area, so they're starting to see that, but they've shrunk in size. So that's the good news. It should move through quickly, but the roads are still wet. So make sure you're taking a little extra time this morning. We do have some weather impacts to talk about, but in a good way. We're finally going to get a break from the heat, although we do have a heat advisory today. We're going to see those heat index values near 105, possibly 107 here in central Arkansas, but those low to mid 90s will be our highs for the next several days. And the good news is we've got some highs in the 80s early next week, which will feel fantastic. But here's the heat advisory for today. Mainly going to see those heat index values around 105, like I mentioned, and we're going to start to see those temperatures continuing to cool into the lower 90s. And by early next week, we're going to have a secondary front coming through, and that's going to lower things even more. Our feels like forecast is looking pretty good. We're going to continue to see this downward trend as we're heading into the weekend, and then it will just kind of stay there as we're heading into early next week, where we're going to see those highs again by Monday and Tuesday in the 80s, and some of those mornings we could wake up in the 60s. So overall, it's going to be it's a pretty good forecast. We'll talk more about it in detail coming up.